Making the CPA exam far more exciting than it was ever intended to be. Welcome back to the Another 71 podcast. As always, I'm your humble host, Jeff Elliott, a licensed CPA in the state of Kansas by the grace of God and to the chagrin of many, and the number is growing daily. I assure you, this is episode 109, I think. I had to go back and look. I think it's 109. Pretty sure I recorded a 110, but I never released it. Or maybe episode 108 was just so epic that we took an entire year off. I'm not even sure if I had a beard back then. Yeah, this is all attached, I assure you. So anyway, we are back. If you have questions, CPA exam questions, hopefully I have an answer. Hopefully it's a good answer. You can email me, jeff@another71.com. That is jeff@another71.com, or go to the another71.com website and click Ask Jeff and the upper nav, and I'll answer it on the next show. Hopefully it won't take an entire year this time. All right, so we begin with the January 2025 CPA exam score release. So the core exams, FAR, auditing, and reg, those came out January 29th. And so hope everyone got excellent results. I've had several emails from people who did get excellent results. The next score release for the core exams is on February 7th. Unfortunately for you disciplined peoples, I believe your exam comes out your score release comes out in April. So good time. This kind of reminds me of back in the day. We had wave 1 and wave 2. Any wave 1 and wave 2 people out there? Remember those days? All right. So that's the CPA exam score release update. And speaking of score release, AJ writes in, I failed auditing by 1 point. Do you think appealing the score would help? I do not. I am a fellow member of Club 75. Matter of fact, I'm a 2-time member. I got back-to-back 74s on regulation and lost my FAR credit. So I was 1 point from being a CPA, and instead I was back to only 2 sections passed. I wanted to throw my laptop through the window. I wanted to blame everyone but myself, including the AICPA, because they hated me, right? But no, it was me. I needed to adjust some things, and I considered a score appeal. And when I looked into it, what I found is that you can take the exam again and get your score back in the amount of time that it would take to file a score appeal and all of that. And I've been doing this since 2008 and been doing it full time since 2010. So carry the two. I'm coming up on 15 years. So it was April of 2010 when I said goodbye to industry and all the good times. So I've never heard of anyone having, I'm not even sure I've ever had anyone appeal their score or heard of it. I'm sure they have, but I've never had anyone email me. And I've had thousands or tens of thousands of emails, forum posts since then. I've never heard of it. So nope, score appeal is really never the answer, in my humble opinion. You just got to get back in there and, restudying for a 74, in my opinion, is the same as studying. Well, of course, that's my opinion. That's what this is all about. But my opinion is sometimes wrong. Just ask my wife. But I've consistently said that studying for a 74 is the same as studying for a 71 or a 51, because you're not 1 point away today. You are 75 points away. So when you took your exam, there's this huge buildup. You're just cramming this info into your head, and then you go and you barf it out on exam day, and you're not there. So you have to build back up to that point, and then take inventory of what your weak areas are. I'm sure that you know what they probably are. And there's obviously the basics for auditing. Of course, those basics aren't so basic anymore with the CPA evolution changes. They stuck some of that BEC stuff in there, but what you were weak on, and your score report isn't perfect, but it probably gave you some insight. And just do everything that you did to get that 74, and then hit that weak area extra hard. If you didn't take notes the first time over your MCQ, take notes, etc., and get back in there and take the exam real soon. Do not cut corners. You're not 1 point away from passing. Matthew writes in, I recently started looking at your material and feel very connected in a way, as my story is similar and that I've planned to study for the CPA exam and I never executed. I think to some degree I terrorized myself into all the time it takes, and then the possibility of failure, and also the unknown of really how tough the test is, how much I need to prepare given my lack of experience, and on and on. I've been planning it as my goal for 2025 to actually buckle down and do this, and this is what I'm setting out to do. I'm almost 47, my voice still cracks. but in the audio, I go back and erase it, which it cracks a lot in the audio. I don't really have anyone that I know personally that has done the CPA exam recently, so I just want to get your thoughts on what you've seen others do for planning the exam. First, I don't have any professional experience in accounting yet, only school, and I graduated in 2023 with my MAC. I'd be curious to know what type of study plan or timeline to make for someone that has been out of school for a bit, and what would be an aggressive but doable pace in your experience for the observation of others. I plan on taking FAR auditing, regulation, and TCP. I have UWorld CPA review course from my school, and probably will be using the Ninja materials as supplementary. Good choice. I really like your perspective on the certification in general when you were factoring family and marriage as well. And I also grew up in Kansas. So and now reside in Texas. So yeah, you know how boring it is. Get out. Happiness is Topeka, Kansas in your rearview mirror. But all my family's here, so we're stuck here. We do have an Applebee's. Thanks for your generous helping of CPA candidates in the community, everything. So, yeah. So FAR, auditing, reg, TCP. I like that a lot. I would start with FAR. FAR or auditing is fine. It used to be only FAR. Now it's FAR or auditing. And then if I were taking the exam today, I would take regulation and TCP. Although I'm a tax person, the tax material really clicks with my brain. And if you look at my CPA exam scores, that was my highest score. Reg was. And TCP has like the highest pass rate. Well, it's either that or ISC, forget, but it's up there. So yeah, FAR, auditing, reg, TCP. That's what I would do. Why would anyone take BAR? I have no idea. And ISC, there's, since it's all conceptual, that's an option too, but I would definitely take TCP if it were me. And you haven't really been out of school that long. The average age of a CPA candidate is 29, according to NASBA. I doubt you're 29 if you just graduated in 2023 with your MAC. And sounds like you're going to use Ninja, so I would follow the Ninja framework. Even if you don't use Ninja, if you stick with UWorld or whatever, you can still use the Ninja framework. Nail the concepts. Intense notes, nonstop MCQ, just rewrite your notes. It all comes together. So nail the concepts. I'm going to assume that you're just going to take the plunge and subscribe to Ninja and supplement. So I would nail the concepts with your UWorld materials. I would watch your videos and take notes. I would get through those in about 2 to 3 weeks. So nail the concepts, intense notes. So if you've been through your videos, taking intense notes, then you move into your nonstop multiple choice questions. And I'd probably do first time through, I'd probably do a mix of your UWorld and your Ninja questions. For a retake, I would only do for a retake I would only do your Ninja questions, because most people when they failed an exam, they've seen their main course question so many times that they're starting to memorize it, but that's not the case with you. So I would kind of do maybe half and half, and so continue to take notes of your MCQ, and then take a week and just rewrite your notes. And most people do not do that step. I highly recommend it. Everyone that has ever said that I rewrote my notes, like, it really helped the material click, and then it all comes together in a final review. Final review. So if you're supplementing with Ninja, sorry, I'm thirsty. Is that allowed? I don't know. I didn't know if that's allowed. If you're supplementing with Ninja, then make sure that you're reading your Ninja notes as well. It comes with the Ninja notes and the Ninja MCQ and the audio. I'll come with the supplement package. So, as much as you can stand the sound of my voice, I'd be listening to the Ninja audio from day one. And so, sorry, Spotify, gotta go for a while. And then that's way back in the beginning. But then I would hammer Ninja MCQ, hammer the UWorld test bank. I'd probably hit the UWorld Sims extra hard, hammer the Ninja MCQ for the questions, and study those notes that you took really good notes on, and that's what I would do. Certainly doable. Ismail writes in, I hope this message finds you well. I've been studying for the CPA for almost 3 years now. I've been struggling to pass far. My scores were 56 and 65 before 2024, and I managed to get a 71 in 2024. I also attempted ISC and scored a 68. Despite some improvement, I feel like I've hit a wall. That said, to be completely honest, I haven't been truly passionate about pursuing the CPA from the beginning. At times, I've considered pivoting to something new or studying something else. But right now, I don't have the luxury to explore those options. The CPA feels like the most practical path forward. Even though staying motivated has been a challenge for me, what makes this even harder is knowing that my future depends on earning the CPA, but I am burnt out. My wife has been incredibly supportive and is pushing me to give it another shot, but I'm finding it hard to even finish a single sentence of study material. I'm familiar with your content on YouTube, and while I haven't subscribed to your course yet, I'm reaching out to see if you have any advice or suggestions that could reignite my passion and energy for this journey. I have worked in audit and financial advisory services at a Big Four firm, and so obtaining this is critical. Okay. So far, 56 and 65, and then a 71. ISC 68. Okay, so really all that I think that you need to do is, first of all, figure out why you want to study. So it's like, yeah, I got to be a CPA, but it has to be more than, my boss wants me to do that. Well, or I need it for advancing at work, which is truly a legitimate reason to do it, to study. But work pressure in and of itself doesn't really get you up at 5 a.m. unless it's like, hey, if you don't pass this exam, you're getting fired and you're gonna lose your house and lose everything. Then that's a different scenario. But so why do you want to be a CPA? And you have to come up with some reason other than it's expected. And so it's like, maybe you've always wanted to be a CPA just to say that you did it. It's one of the most difficult professional exams out there. You want the maybe you want to leave Big Four and it's your ticket out. Like, that's something right there. Maybe, that rude uncle at Thanksgiving one year said, "You're not smart enough to pass the CPA exam." "Oh yeah, rude uncle, I'm going to show you." That type of thing. It's kind of like running a marathon. If it's someone else's goal for you to run a marathon, you're not going to train. I hate running, and so I played soccer for 40 years. I'm old, and I hate running, so I've always played goalie. So I hate running, and so if someone wanted me to run a marathon, I'm probably not going to do it. So it has to become my goal. And so why do you want to be a CPA? That is what's going to get you up out of bed in the morning and studying at 5 a.m., studying over lunch instead of death scrolling on your phone, listening to like the boring Ninja audio on the way to and from work. And so you have to get your why. And logistically, as far as study plan goes, 7 to 8 weeks, 20 hours a week. Follow the Ninja framework, nail the concepts, intense notes, nonstop multiple choice questions, just rewrite your notes. It all comes together. The formula works. It always has. And it just consistently works. It's and there's a lot of reasons why it works, but just follow the Ninja framework and you will get there eventually. But you have to figure out your why. Rangini says, "I need CPA FAR MCQ samples and simulation sample questions." Okay, got some freebies for you. Go to ninjacpareview.com/MCQ, and there's an entire practice test, mock exam for you. It's got whatever the number of questions are in FAR, I forget, but it's a complete practice test. It's free, and even if you never subscribe to Ninja, you can use it for free. It's got some sims, all that. So ninjacpareview.com/MCQ will get you there. And yeah, so those are some free questions. Leanne, sometimes I'm terrible at pronouncing names, writes in, "I need a study plan for FAR. I plan to take FAR in 3 months." Never, ever, ever study for any exam ever more than 2 months, never more than 8 weeks. And the reason for that is because the further away you get from week 1, the diminishing returns sets in. And so, which is why I get emails sometimes from people, "Hey Jeff, I studied for 4 months and scored a 54. Well, what did Conor McGregor say? "I'm not surprised." Or maybe it was Nate Diaz, I forget. But I'm not surprised. Because, again, diminishing returns takes over. And so by week 10, you've forgotten what you studied in week 1. And so like 7 to 8 weeks, it's kind of the sweet spot. Never more than 8 weeks. And anyone out there who recommends more than that, they're wrong. And you tell them I said so. They'll be like, "I don't care what he says. I hate him." So soapbox over. 2 months. So I'd follow the Ninja framework, nail the concepts, intense notes, nonstop multiple choice questions, just rewrite your notes, all comes together, Ninja. And even if you don't like even if you never like use Ninja, you can use any course, but you can apply the Ninja framework to any course. And so you can go to ninjacpareview.com/planner, and you can get the Ninja framework, the Ninja study planner for free. Love to have you subscribe. You don't have to. You can apply that to Becker or whatever course you're wanting to use. And I highly recommend that you do that. And then just study for FAR, 7 to 8 weeks. Follow the Ninja framework. You know, FAR is a beast, but it's been tamed a little bit, although the pass rates don't seem to reflect that. A little bit surprised by that, but because some of the more gnarly sections of FAR got pushed off into BAR, but still, FAR is still a beast. Better drink. FAR is still a beast, and one of the downsides of having a beer like this is water gets trapped. And then I'm self-conscious that I'm just like dripping water. It's really bad when I eat spaghetti. Or Chipotle. Or ranch. And so, so FAR, 2 months, Ninja framework, you got it. Mindy says, thank you so much. I just completed reg this week. I'm so glad I did reg first. Do you think I should study auditing for the next 2 months? I don't know how long I need to complete TCP, assuming I need to restart TCP based on my last score of 62. How long would you recommend to study for auditing and TCP? I'm using mainly Ninja MCQ and Sims and Becker Sims and practice exams. I'm able to do 40 hours a week. All right. Well, if you need to retake TCP, 7 to 8 weeks, and always just completely restudy for any exam, never cram or take a shortcut, because I get emails from people. Man, I'm so frustrated. I'm about to throw in the towel. I scored a 73, and then I scored a 68. And then I'll ask them to explain how they studied, and yeah, they cut corners this time. So never a good idea. Always repeat what you did and then some. Okay? So 7 to 8 weeks for TCP, and mainly using MCQ and Sims, Ninja MCQ and Sims and Becker Sims and practice exams. Make sure you have those concepts nailed down first. Like, you know, there's some thoughts out there about hammering MCQs, and you know, MCQs you can pass just hitting MCQs and taking notes. Plenty of people do it. It's more of an active learning, but make sure that you know the concepts, or are at least learning the concepts, like why one option is correct, why the other 3 are incorrect, and take notes as you're hammering MCQ. 40 hours a week, lots of pluses with studying full time, but there's also some drawbacks. You know, make sure that you treat it like a job. I would get up, leave the house every day, and go to like a coffee shop. Treat it like a job. Leave the house. Because otherwise, when you're at home, you're like, okay, got to do the dishes, got to clean the house, blah, 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 blah. And pretty soon you're not studying. And and it's just like, you know, it's like working from home. You're not as productive when you work from home as you are at like when you physically go someplace. Sorry, Blake Oliver. So that's just a joke. So make sure that you treat it like a full-time job. Ilham writes in, how does one maintain consistency and motivation for this CPA journey? This is the most challenging goal to date. I could have graduated college again and almost twice over. Every month I tell myself to cancel my Ninja membership. I end up not doing it out of guilt, yet I'm not staying consistent. Any personal advice you can offer? Well, so how do you stay motivated, especially when it's just dragging along? Make sure that you're only studying 7 to 8 weeks. Make sure that you, like when you're studying, you're not hammering MCQ and watching Breaking Bad for the 10th time through. And make sure that you're engaging in active learning. You're taking really good notes. Make sure that you're not taking shortcuts. So if you're conceptually weak, don't just jump into MCQ. Like, go back, watch the videos. You're using Ninja. I'm not sure if you're only using Ninja, but so you're hitting Ninja Mike's videos. You're skimming the Ninja book, or what other course you're using. Come up with your why. Why am I doing this? If you read my story, go to another71.com/Jeff. You'll read my story. After 3 years, my wife was like, let's do this or don't, but like, pick. And so that's when I got my butt in gear. I wanted to be a CPA, but didn't really want to be a CPA. And so make sure that you are putting in the work. All right, well, that does it for this episode of the Another 71 podcast. If you have a question for me, shoot me an email, jeff@another71.com. That's jeff@another71.com. Or go to the website, another71.com. Click in the upper nav, Ask Jeff, and you can submit your question there as well. Until next time, be good, everyone. Take care, and I will talk to you soon.